Imagine you enter the lobby of the 1790 Inn, whether you are searching for fine dining or looking for comfortable lodging. You are now standing in one of the oldest businesses of Savannah, Georgia. We will be spilling the tea today about the 1790 Inn and its ghostly residents. After gaining our independence from England, Savannah was reformed as an American colony in 1790. I want you to imagine a village where you could live a simple yet prosperous life, with a few hundred frame buildings, sandy streets, with its horses and wagons waiting. Once upon a time, the 1790 Inn was three separate residences. The western part of the building was built as a duplex between 1821 to 1823 by Steel White. The ground level, with its slate floor and soft brick walls, are thought to date from a previous structure, possibly destroyed in the Great Fire of Savannah in 1820. The eastern section was added by the Powers family in 1888. You can see the original wood shingles in the attic. There are also wooden pegs and wedges holding beams in place that can be found throughout the building. According to the restaurant's website, quote, the inn also has 14 comfortable rooms, each with a king or queen size bed, private bath, a growing collection of antiques, and ghosts waiting to tuck you in at night, end quote. In addition to the comfortable lodgings at the main inn, there is a 3-story guest house across the street built in 1875. In order to cover the cost of rent, a Norwegian shipbuilder hand painted the parlor ceilings in the 1890s. So, whether you are looking for comfortable lodgings in the form of a king or queen size bed, private bath, and growing collection of antiques and ghosts, or you just want to have a good meal, you are in the right place. We have our friendliest spirit of the 1790 Inn, named Thaddeus. Sometimes he is seen on the ground floor of the restaurant or the tavern, where he leaves shiny pennies on the table, the bar, and the desk. He is said to be a friendly spirit who sometimes is experienced as a warm, unexplainable presence. Unfortunately, we don't know much more about him, but if anybody wants to go down the rabbit hole, you can email us with that information and we would love to hear it. Anna, or Anne, is one of our second main ghost residents of the 1790 Inn. And she is more mischievous, still friendly, but does have bouts of sadness. And when you hear why, you'll understand. Her idea of fun is moving your stuff around, moving your bed covers, or nudging you. And she does at times unplug the lamp and thrown the purple ball left by the ghost hunters. The one thing everyone can agree on is that this spirit went through something. Okay? This is where the bouts of sadness come in. She suffered immense heartbreak at the loss of a loved one. In her despair, she threw herself over the balcony and crashed harshly onto the brick ground below her. There are several stories of the ghost named Anne or Anna, depending on who you ask. The first possible Anne is Anne White. She was the wife and eventual widow of Steel White. You remember him, right? He is the builder of the first two buildings of the inn. It is said that he died in a horse riding accident in 1823 and unfortunately never saw the end of the construction. Devastated, Anne White moved away with her sister and brother-in-law. We have a second possible Anne, Anne Powers. It has been suggested that the second Anne was her. We also have a third possibility, and it's merely a woman in love with someone other than her beau to be. It is said that this young woman fell in love with a sailor that wasn't her future spouse. As the sails of the ship hovered, her love was disappearing into the distance. She threw herself over the balcony to her death to escape a marriage she didn't want, because now the love of her life was sailing away without her. There are also suggestions that she was pushed by her angry husband to be over that balcony. Here's where evidence comes in to tell us whether one or the other is more plausible. So, we can exclude both Anne 1 and Anne 2. Besides the fact that Anne White moved out of the inn after the death of her beloved husband, her husband passed away in 1823 and she moved shortly after. This is 65 years too early. Anne Powers was reported to be 78 in the 1920 census, while her husband was 82. So basically, what we're falling into is that neither Anne, neither women could be the woman who threw herself over the balcony, because one, they lived into older age, and the woman who threw herself over the balcony was a young woman. And two, their the years were too there's too many issues. My personal theory is that there actually was a woman who suffered a devastating loss of a loved one, and she could have thrown herself over or someone threw her over. And she could have also been named Anne, but it was neither one of the Annes we talked about. I think one of the most interesting facts on this one is that while she is mischievous, she will mess with your stuff. And if you ask her nicely, she'll put it where you can find it again. She can also be heard in the corner crying and upset. So the fact is that whoever this woman is, whether her name is Anne or Anna, if she's Anne White, or Anne Powers, whoever she is a devastated young woman who lost somebody she truly loved. And at the end of the day, we should all treat her with as much respect and love as possible, because one, we're staying in her room, but two, we have all been through a time that broke us and broke our heart. While we didn't take her route, we can still at least have the sympathy and empathy to relate to her and treat her with respect. We've already talked about Thaddeus and Anne. Right now, we're going to talk about the unfriendliest spirit of those who permanently reside in the inn. This one calls the kitchen their domain. They can't stand women in the kitchen, as they throw pots and pans, push people, and prank the female staff. Ooh, is anybody else starting to wonder if this is a woman? And I say that because very often women get very, very territorial about their kitchens. While women are alone in this kitchen, they may hear sounds of someone moving in the kitchen angrily. They're going to clang the pots and slam the cupboards. The staff believe she is a servant who used to work for the family who lived in the home. It is also believed that she is a voodoo practitioner. No one knows why she's so angry or why she has issues with women. It is, just a thought that, ladies, you should watch your back if you're anywhere near the kitchen during your stay. That's not to badmouth this particular spirit, because we don't know what that spirit went through. But that is to say that no matter what, they all have their stories. And again, if anybody should be so bold, then and try and get the story, please pour us a cup of that tea. We would love to hear it. So if you have the opportunity to visit either Thaddeus or Anne, or maybe you even get to talk to that kitchen ghost of the 1790 Inn, go ahead and enjoy its comfortable lodgings, its fine dining, and anything else it could offer you. I hope you have a spectacular week.